Hey everybody, David Schonecker, part two of the series where I went to a Hillsborough County Plant City community workshop regarding the future vision of Plant City, right? Part one, quick recap. I went to a meeting, I listened to some citizens, I listened to the Planning Commission give a report, and we're talking about it, right? So if you didn't see part one, go see part one. Sorry it's long and drawn out, but there's a lot to talk about here. And again, it's relevant. If you're not from Plant City and Dover, it's still relevant. If you're still in a rural county that's being developed, these are the right questions to be asking. These are the right things to be talking about. So, part two, what are we going to talk about here in part two? We're going to talk about housing currently being developed. We're going to talk about what we can control and what we can't control. We're going to talk about what projects are good and healthy for a growing community, what projects are being incentivized, etc. We'll talk about mixed use development, talk about post COVID life, work from home, work from community, and then we're going to dial in transportation and walkability. We're going to talk about walkability because it was talked about more than it should have been talked about. So going backwards, the housing. So a lot of conversation was about what sort of housing do we want to encourage in the future of the Plant City vision, right? And then the same sort of rhetoric is talked about over and over again. Apartments, townhomes, high density housing. I'm not even gonna beat that dead horse. I get it. You need apartments, you need townhomes, you need housing fast to deal with the population that that's been behind us growing. And I apologize, I have a cold by the way, so I'm stuffy. I apologize. Yeah, we need that. I get it, right? What was not talked about is the part I want to talk about is like, why are we not encouraging growth and fractional break off of our existing homesteads, right? A more natural progression of helping our families that are from and live in Plant City have had decades of homesteads in Plant City. Why are we not talking about that in the future vision of Plant City, right? And here's the facts, right? Are there rules and regulations to subdivide your property to allow your kid to move in, your grandkid to move in? Yeah, there are, but they're hard. They're disproportionately hard, disproportionately costly, very complicated. You have to hire planners and engineers and surveyors. And if you just want to put your kid in the backyard in a legal house, not a 900 square foot ADU, you got to walk through all these really difficult moments. And so in this meeting that I went to, I didn't expect them to talk about it, but now in hindsight, like I'm mad about it. Like, why is that not part of the constant conversation that we need the future vision of Plant City is not all apartments, townhomes, and high density housing. It should be the vision of existing homesteads. It should be fractional parceling of 5 to 10 acre land into more reasonable, you know, 1 acre tracts, which is plenty good enough for a homestead, even half-acre tracts in some cases, with legal access and potentially access to well, sewer, or well and septic, etc. That's what wasn't talked about. And that is what I deal with on a daily basis when I'm designing homesteads for families is the aggravation and the soft cost and the time and energy associated with permitting and dividing a lot for a family just to try to fit another kid on the lot because it's a more affordable and it's really hard. So what are we doing? Other than complaining, what are we doing? Well, I'm saying the county and other professionals associated with the county and city should do more education and make these processes easier. I know there's realtors and planners out there that already do this and advocate for it. I think we need to have a very clear path for the citizens of Plant City and the citizens of unincorporated Hillsborough County to have educational workshops and seminars and guidance for how to subdivide their property in a manner which is not disproportionately complicated or financially a burden to said family. It's common sense. That's what the future of Plant City should be. The descendants of Plant City. The apartments, townhomes, and high density housing are absolutely a contrary to that statement. So, what is the vision of Plant City if we're not dealing with the descendants of Plant City, right? Most people, citizens that get up and talk in these meetings are mad and upset and emotional, and they're doing the best they can to communicate the words that I'm saying, and they're not able to say them the way that I'm saying it. So I'm on here saying it. Why are we not spending time consistently in Plant City right now, giving education and workshops to the and resources to the existing homeowners to subdivide their land in a more reasonable manner that doesn't add high density and more traffic and stormwater impacts to an already burdened system? All right, so I beat that dead horse. Bottom line is we can't control the types of development. The vision for Plant City and unincorporated Hillsborough County is in play. A lot of this stuff's already in play. There's state laws, SB 180, and some other things that are in play that I can't talk about right now that are, much more broader stroke stuff about this. There is no easy answer except that the county continues to approve developments like you visually see right now, the apartments, the townhomes, and the high density housing. And we rarely see, we do see, by the way, we do see fractional break off of property. I know that because I'm the engineer that designs some of these homesteads. We do see parcels divided. We do have resources for that personally, and we do those moments, but they're very few and far between relative to the other things that are happening. So we can't control the types of developments, but we can continue to advocate for what I'm talking about. Something that resources that help the descendants of Plant City, not the newcomers, so to speak, right? And I'm one of those newcomers. So I'm one of those people. But I bought an existing property and I fought through the moments and I paid all the survey and all the things and dealt with title to build what I had to build in Plant City. And not everybody has that opportunity and that education and that knowledge. I do. All right, so what else? I don't feel like the vision of Plant City and the things they're doing behind the scenes really do a good job of supporting and incentivizing the actual projects that should be moving forward right now, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, post COVID, right? Work from home, work in your community, walkability. There's a resurgence of mixed use developments like the ones you see in downtown Tampa, Hillsborough, et cetera. Ybor and Winthrop, for example, in Riverview. Those mixed use developments have been, toyed with in Plant City, but nothing's really come to fruition. And we need to see our county and city planners probably put more time into incentivizing and making those projects come true because they're literally proven over centuries of development that mixed use developments work from a small area, have mixed use like retail and office and apartments and housing of some sorts where there's walkability and you're not having to leave your entire community, and it reduces traffic and it increases productivity and it increases experience and stuff. But the fact is we don't have that in Plant City, nor do we have anything really serious on the table, nor do we have anybody behind the scenes incentivizing it, right? So the reality is we're not going to be a bunch of farms for the next 20 years. I get that, totally understand that. Mixed use communities need revisions in zoning. They need incentivizing utility infrastructure. They need traffic patterns dealt with proactively by the community prior to putting them in. Otherwise, they become a burden on the community in question. So these are the sort of things that we want to talk about, right? Mixed use communities, incentivizing developments that are factually can work and help in the next 5 years, not 25 years from now. What else? Transportation. A lot of conversation about transportation. It's very complicated. Hillsborough County, unincorporated Hillsborough County, and Plant City, when it relates to I-4 and this massive growth of I-4 and all the collector roads that come out of the city of Plant City, out of the annex city of Plant City and unincorporated Hillsborough County, it's actually a very complicated conversation. We're not going to get into it all right now, but just to tell you, that's complicated and that's not being talked about, and there's no real concrete things happening to improve said transportation as it relates to this future vision, right? And the last thing I'll say for now is walkability. It was talked about a lot. Let's just say to this: there's no serious conversation to be had about walkability in Plant City because it's so sprawled out, except in the downtown area, and that doesn't need to be an important aspect of every project. Stay tuned for part 3. Hope this helps.